makers, this is going to be the third card that I'm going to make for the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous 2024 stamp and stencil release. So today's card is going to feature the new Forgotten Garden stamp set, and I think this is a really cool stamp set. It kind of reminds me of the plant identification cards or papers that botanists make, where they put like a clipping of the plant and they press it and then they attach it to the sheet of paper, and they use different stamps and things on it to write the identification of the plant and things like that. So I am going to add to it an older stamp set today, and the older stamp set I'm using is the Field Notes stamp set. So I think this one goes perfectly with it. So there are a lot of things that I can stamp on the paper that I put these Forgotten Garden stamps on, like this round one that has kind of, it has some things that, you could maybe even write in here something, or this little bit down here with a number on it. I could use any of these numbers, the figures, any of those things that I could put on here to just help me, use it for like plant identification. So I think these are perfect. Totally love it. And I went ahead and did a little prep work before I started this video because I had an idea that I wanted to make a decor piece out of this. So from in my sketches, I actually was going to use one of the large etc. tags. And I thought that would be really great for a spring kind of decor piece to set around. But I have changed my mind for today, and I wanted to go with something really quick and simple. So I'm going to make some little just gift cards that you could put with, the gift of a plant to a friend, or, a coworker, or, someone who's maybe ill and you want to take a little plant by to them, or something like that, with just a little note. So I am going to do 4 of these. So I have them prepped, and these are half the size of an A2 card. So I just took and made some A2 cards out of the heavy Kraft stock from Tim Holtz and Ranger, and then I cut those in half. So the card base is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then I made a mat that I'm just going to leave white. And this is just the watercolor cardstock, and I'm using the smooth side of the watercolor cardstock. You could use the white Heavystock, would be fine as well. I just had the watercolor out. So the mat is 2.5 by 4 inches. And then I'm going to pop this one up so it is up off of that mat a little bit. And you can see that I've cut it with the decal edge. And so this one is 2 1/4 inches wide by 3 3/4 inches tall. And so then you can see that it just gradually goes in. And then I'll use some of the shorter plants to stamp on there, and then some of these little things, just 1 or 2. Like I said, I want these to be really clean and simple and fast, and that's generally not my style. I kind of tend to overdo it sometimes, but I want these to be true to the botany plant identification cards that I have seen, the old ones, and so I want to stay true to that. So that's where I'm going today. And so I think these are actually going to go together really quick, and I'm excited about that. So let's go ahead and get making. I began by stamping in Distress Archival ink, so I got all of my inks out, and I stamped the stems in green. You can pick whichever green you want. And then I chose brown for the little scotch tape, and then I picked different colors for the flowers on each one of these. And so I wiped off the ink in between, and then you can see me auditioning different pieces from the field notes to try and decide which ones I wanted to use. And I decided on the 3 figures, figure 1, figure 2, and figure 3. So I cut those apart, and then the word filed. And so I stamped filed in barn door, and the figure 1, 2, and 3 in the black. And then I just continue on, as you can see, with each stem being in green, and then I wipe off the stamp, and then I ink just the tape part with the brown, and then I wipe it off again, and I stamp the flower in the color that I want. And then I add those little bits from the field notes, and I tried to switch up figure 1, 2, and 3. There wasn't a figure 4, so I think I used figure 1 twice. Now this one I went in with the green again, then the brown, and then I did a blue for this one. And then I have one more to do, which is the little purple one, I think. So it went really quickly, and I am stamping on the decal piece of watercolor cardstock that is going to go on the top. The other two that I showed you were the matte and the card base. So this is that decal piece. And then once I had it all stamped, I did make sure that they were dry, and so I did dry them all with a heat tool before I went on to the next step, which is, as you can see, watercoloring. And so I have my distress inks out. You could use distress watercolor pencils if you would like, but for me, for this one, I just felt like distress inks were fine. So I am using peeled paint and coloring in the stems and kind of over some of the stems a little bit. And now I'm using brush corduroy and going in and trying to make that look like really old Scotch tape. And as you can see, I did dry in between each layer. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some color. And so I think I'm adding Spice Marmalade to this one that I stamped in, I think, possibly the Campfire. This one was a red, so probably Fired Brick. And then I'm probably coloring it in with Festive Berries. This one, I think I stamped in Dusty Concord, and I might be coloring it in with the same. And then this one was a blue, so I think it was Faded Jeans that I stamped it in, and then I probably colored it in much the same. Now I'm going over the edges with old paper, and I put a little old paper kind of on the front as well, and then I went ahead and splattered a little bit on the front, and I'm going around these with walnut stain. And then I got the old paper again to go just around. I was going to leave them completely white, but I went ahead and aged the mats as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and put them on, and I use Distress Collage Medium. I squirt a little bit on, and then I press it down with my hand. And these front panels, I have put a layer of chipboard behind each one of them, so you can see the chipboard behind them, so that they are popped up a little bit and there is a little bit of dimension. I'm really pleased with how quickly these came together and how cute they are. So I know that I already went over this in the whole tutorial, but I thought I would give you just a close-up of each one so that you can see what they look like. And I think that just popping this up a little bit with that chipboard, of course, as I've said in past tutorials, I use the chipboard because these are going to be traveling all over the place with Stampers Anonymous. So I use just a chipboard to use to make my dimension on my cards for Stampers Anonymous so that they can withstand all of that. And then I add a little twine to the top of each one. This is some twine I've had from May Arts for years, and I just pull it out every once in a while and use the twine. So I thought it was perfect for this little rustic gift card. And here's the little purple one. Such a cute little stamp. I'm not sure what this one would be, but the blue one. And then this red one. And you can see the detail of the little bit of walnut stain that I flicked on it at the end, and then went around each of the white with that old paper just to make them look a little bit older. And I think that they're just so cute. I really am so happy with these. So at some point I do want to use the longer ones and make that decor piece. But for now, I am really just very pleased with these little gift cards that can go with a plant or something that you might want to give to a friend or a family member. So I want to thank you so much for following along. As always, if you have any questions, comments, whatever, go ahead and leave those in the comments for this YouTube video. And then if you want to see the still shots or see any of the directions kind of written out, I usually put brief directions on my blog. I also have my affiliate links for the products in the description for this YouTube video, and also on my blog at playswellwithpaper.blogspot.com. And so you can see all the products that I used to make these, and get some for yourself if you would like. So again, thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and I want to wish you a very creative day.